Pay close attention because what you're about to learn will rewire how you see every interaction from this day forward. Most people navigate life emotionally transparent. They believe their politeness and good intentions are a shield, but ancient wisdom from strategists like Sun Tzu reveals a darker truth. Those who understand deception will always find those ripe for deception. This isn't about your intelligence, it's about your conditioning. You were raised to be open, while others mastered the art of the unseen game. The world doesn't reward naivete with kindness. It punishes it with exploitation. Right now, people are subconsciously studying your patterns, your insecurities, what makes you angry, how you seek approval, your deepest fears. Every vulnerability you display becomes a potential lever in someone else's hands. But this video will incinerate that naivete and forge a mind that is resilient, disciplined, and ultimately untouchable. Because mental fortitude isn't the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of your inner landscape. Mastery over what you reveal, when you react, and how you are perceived. Mastery over the silent war within your own consciousness. Your mind is your strongest armor. The first principle, the observer mind cannot be controlled. Listen closely, because this is the foundational step. The most powerful individual in any room isn't the one who knows the most, but the one who sees the most, starting with themselves. Most live in a state of reactive autopilot. They speak without filtering, judge without evidence, and react without a pause. Because they don't understand their own internal machinery, others can learn to operate it. A fool is not an unintelligent person. A fool is an emotionally predictable one. But when you become a watcher of your own thoughts, you become an enigma. Impossible to pressure, impossible to read. Imagine two selves. One is reactive, loud, and emotionally visible. The other is calm, analytical, observing the internal landscape from a quiet distance. Which one's harder to manipulate? The latter, every single time. This self-observation is raw cognitive strength. It's sensing your irritation building before it controls you. Noticing when a comment is designed to trigger you before you bite. Understanding your own psychological wiring so thoroughly that no one can use it against you. Deception works by targeting your blind spots. If you illuminate them first, the deceiver loses all advantage. When you observe yourself, you create a sacred space between a stimulus and your response. In that space lies your absolute power. This is why manipulative tactics fail against a self-aware individual. The guilt trips, the flattery, the pressure, they all bounce off a surface that is fully conscious. You see the play while others are merely actors in it. People may call you detached or hard to figure out. That is your signal of success. It means they can no longer locate your emotional triggers. You have become mentally untouchable because your self-worth is sourced from within. Second principle, strategic silence is both your shield and your sword. Common belief is that power lies in argument and eloquence. True power, however, lies in disciplined quiet. Silence isn't emptiness, it is controlled presence. Most people talk from a place of fear. Fear of awkwardness, of being misjudged, of irrelevance. That anxiety forces them to disclose their plans, feelings, and weaknesses prematurely. Manipulators adore the talkative. They are a fountain of free intelligence. But the silent individual, they disclose nothing and comprehend everything. Silence is a shield because it protects your inner world. No one can use your words against you if you don't supply them. No one can anticipate your strategy if you don't announce it. When you master silence, you become an unreadable manuscript. But it is also a weapon because it applies psychological pressure. When you don't immediately respond, people become uncomfortable. They fill the void, often revealing their true intentions, their impatience, their instability. Your calm becomes a mirror reflecting their own chaos. This must be strategic silence, chosen, not accidental. You let others show their hand before you decide to play yours. When someone tries to guilt you, remain quiet. When someone pressures you for a quick decision, Stay silent. Your non-reaction forces them to confront the emptiness of their own tactics. Silence also heightens your perceptions. You start to hear the meaning behind the words, see the micro-expressions, sense the hidden tensions. You gain an unfair advantage. A manipulator cannot con a vigilant observer. Remember, people are wary of what they cannot decipher. Your silence builds mystery. Mystery builds respect. And respect builds unassailable influence. Third principle, emotional detachment from external validation. The majority live as prisoners to others' perceptions, chained not by bars, but by approval. The moment someone can dictate how you feel about yourself, they can direct your actions. This is the core of manipulation. Every manipulator attacks your self-concept. They make you hunger for their approval and dread their criticism. Why? Because a person who needs validation is predictable, and a predictable mind is a controllable one. Detachment is not coldness, it is the profound stability of your own identity, unwavering by either praise or blame. Don't mistake the danger. Positive opinions can be just as binding as negative ones. If a compliment can lift you, a withdrawal of it can crush you. Build your foundation internally, not on the shifting sand of public opinion. Your worth is not a public vote. When you detach, you stop justifying your existence to critics. You stop defending every choice. You move with a calm assurance that confuses those who feed on insecurity. Detachment creates psychological insulation. You hear opinions, but they don't penetrate your core. Critics can't wound you, and flatterers can't inflate you. At this stage, manipulators become powerless. Bullies find no impact. They will say you've changed, that you're more reserved, more confident. What they mean is they can no longer control you with their judgments. You have become mentally untouchable because your self-worth is sourced from within. Fourth principle, master your reactions. The ultimate advantage in any interaction is emotional discipline. A manipulator's primary strategy is to provoke an unthinking emotional response. They want your anger, your confusion, your defensiveness, because the second you lose self-command, you hand them the reins. Your emotional reactions are the open gates to your mind. But when you learn to govern your responses, you lock those gates permanently. Think, when provoked, what is expected? Anger. When pressured, what is expected? Stress. When lied to, what is expected? Shock. Giving the expected reaction makes you a puppet. But the person who responds with deliberate calm becomes an unplayable game. Reaction control is the art of selecting your emotional output. It is the practice of maintaining your center when others try to knock you off balance. It is the power of the pause, the moment between event and response where your true power resides. This pause grants you clarity while your opponent reveals their weakness. Manipulators are disarmed by non-reactivity. Your stillness frustrates their plans. Your neutrality exposes their aggression. When you cannot be baited, you cannot be beaten. People will begin to measure their words around you. They will tread carefully. Your very presence will command a different energy. This control is not about never responding. It's about responding on your terms, in your time. Your words will carry more weight because they are born of intention, not impulse. Master this, and you will notice conflicts diminish, respect grow, and manipulators simply vanish from your orbit, seeking easier targets. Fifth principle, decode intentions, not language. To become truly impossible to fool, you must learn to see the motive behind the mask. People lie with their words, but their intentions always leak through. Anyone can say the right thing. Anyone can perform kindness when it serves them, but sustained actions reveal the truth. A person's deeper purpose is revealed in their patterns, not their promises. Observe how someone acts when they are angry, when you succeed, when there's no benefit for them. These are the moments that unmask them. Intentions are broadcast through micro-signals, the forced enthusiasm for your win, the slight pause before an answer, the change in energy when a specific topic arises. Most people are terrible at hiding their true motives. We are just not trained to look. Look for the gaps between what is said and what is done. Look for the emotional misalignment. Look at the energy in their eyes. That is where the truth lives. When you train yourself to perceive motive over dialogue, your world shifts. Pretenders become transparent. Manipulators become avoidant. The trustworthy glow with consistency. This skill grants you a form of psychological foresight. You will be steps ahead, not because you're cynical, but because you're clear-eyed. No one can mislead you because you are no longer listening to their performance, you are witnessing their purpose. Let this truth anchor within you. The most formidable person is the one whose inner world is inaccessible, unshakable, and sovereign. You are becoming that person. By observing your mind, you've sealed the entry points. Through strategic silence, you've become unpredictable.